Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be covering my latest team challenge match. Thank you Zach Peel, my opponent, for letting me record. Today we are at Bellamy Park. We are starting on the hole 8. I believe it's about 230-ish, and I'm throwing a turnover shot with my XD. And I land pretty close. Zach's trying to put it close to put some pressure on me. Has this putt for his par. Just low, so I get to lay up since he's taking a bogey and I have a putt for birdie. If I lay up for par, I win. And here is a shot that I'm saving par with. So we pushed 2 holes before this, and I decided to not include them because they don't really sway the match either way. Hole 11, we got a par 3, 300 feet. I'm throwing my yarn, and I put it to about 10 feet. Zach's got this turnover backhand. He's got like pretty good height, but he just didn't get it to go right enough. He has a 45-footer to push with me. These team challenge matches are taken pretty seriously between both teams, so just decide to include a little bit of everybody's routine. This is a par 4, hole 12. I'm a little early, but I'm in the fairway. And Zach ends up throwing it OB. He's left with a drop zone throw. And he throws it OB again. So I'm in a worse spot than I expected. But if I hit this gap, I can lay up for my par, throwing a machete. And I make good. That shot looks a lot easier than it was. It was very tricky, getting some love from some of the teammates across the course. Hole 13, par 4. I'm taking my stall and trying to flex it, but I didn't commit to it, unfortunately. And Zach has a great opportunity to take one on me because I'm off the fairway, and he makes good on this drive. I'm in a pretty tricky spot. I have this hyzer line, but it's actually really hard. And I missed my line entirely, and I'm probably about 130 feet away. Yep. Zach's laying this up, trying to put some pressure on me. I essentially have to throw this in. And I hit some high foliage. Make a 40-footer because he has a further putt than I expected, but
nice take.
He makes good on that putt.
Flip.
Hole 14, par 4. Zach hits a little early, but he has a line to get up and down for birdie. I decided to try to throw a safe shot instead of going for eagle. Just push decently far up the fairway, but give me a pretty easy look for 3. Zach has this for his save, and hits a little early. Kind of a slippery spot from where I am. I'm about 80 feet from the basket, jump putting my yarn, just trying to hit the gap. Zach has this to push and gives it a pretty good bid. I honestly thought he made it. And here we are at hole 15, par 3. I threw an unconventional line.
Come on.
Not many people go forehand there. You see Zach take the backhand, but I'm actually 25 feet. Zach has this to put some pressure on my 25-footer. And a little off the mark, I have this to take a 3-point lead. And unfortunately, I flub it. I actually say on coverage that that was surprising. Feeling good going into this next hole, though. I'm throwing my Burgax on a short par 3. Zach's taking the hyzer line with a backhand. And he hits... He has a jump putt for his 2, but not really a super easy putt to make. Trying to focus in on this putt after the last miss. A little closer, but I get it, and I'm back to 3 up. Hole 17, par 3, there's a river that runs OB down to the right, and I actually kick off a tree and go OB. So Zach essentially just needs to keep this inbounds, which he does, and he brings it back to 3. It was my mistake earlier. And this is a short par 4. He throws it into a spot that's not going to be very easy to get up and down from, so I'm just throwing my cax as a safe shot, even though it kind of hurt my soul to not throw a driver. I'm right in the middle of the fairway throwing my yarn, and it's pretty perfect, and we will see how cut off Zach is. Sorry, my dog is upstairs making a lot of noise. You may be able to hear him. And Zach had a tricky spot there. I don't really know if he's trying to throw it in or not. I have a tester for the point on this hole, but it's no worries to me. Sorry, that's a little cocky, but I knew I was going to make that. Hole 1, par 3. I'm throwing a stock forehand hyzer, but I actually pull it over to the left a little bit, and it hits some of the pine trees. And I'm going to try to give this a bid. Zach is well in the circle. Right line, just a little low. Zach has this for his birdie and to bring it back to 3. Hole 2, par 3. It's about 320 feet. OB right, the same river as earlier. Zach throws a pretty good shot. He lands about 35 feet away. I'm throwing my Rico into a tree. Honestly, not a bad tree. Could have thrown me in the river. Try to get up and down here with my Bergax. It's a little early. Have this 40-footer to put some pressure on Zach. He's not at a gimme range. And I jam it. I feel very good about this. Even if he makes this putt, like, very, very good mental putt. And he does.
There you go.
This was, I gave him some kudos for that putt. That was phenomenal after all that. Hole 3, this one's kind of a poke and hope. He's attempting the backhand, but the backhand's not usually super great on this one. I'm trying my yarn, and you're going to find that I don't succeed with that either. So this hole is stupid. Zach throws it up to about 27 feet. I want to keep my lead, so I'm just trying to lay it up under the basket. And I do so well. And Zach has this to keep the match pretty close. I believe it's at 2. I apologize. I add the text in as I go. And just probably a little nervy range. And I told my buddy I'd shout out his disc he gave me the next time I threw it on my channel. It's a Paul Macbeth Destroyer with Pac-Man eating a bunch of dicks instead of pellets. And I hate that I bag it. You hear me say that. But it flies money. And I believe this par 4 is about 430, and I actually land inside the circle. And he answers pretty well. He's about 25 feet behind me, tries to give this a bid. The match would be over if I make this putt, and it's for eagles, so a little bit of pressure, but it's not too far.
Oh, I sold the clip.
Yeah, I sold the clip. Hole 5, par 4. I have him up 3 with 3 holes left, so if I tie or win this hole,
That's a good shot.
the match is over. And I throw a pretty good shot on this short par 4. Zach's more aggressive with, I believe, his Shrike. And he's trying to get a look, which is doable on this hole. And he got good distance, but missed his line by a bit, so he's going to be in the right rough. And here's my teammate, Jason Fogg, throwing it right up the gut. He is also 3 up with 3 to play. So me and him just need to get up and down for our birdies to take it. And he's got this has got to go in because I put it to about 10, 15 feet. And he gives it a pretty good bid.
Yeah, good out.
Unfortunately, just off the mark. And here's Fogger taking his win.
Didn't matter.
And here is my last putt. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate any of you that have stayed this long. Like, subscribe, and do all that junk. Have a good rest of the day.
Grounded. Yeah, you too, man. Pleasure playing with you again.
Yeah, you too, man. Good playing with you. So, hey, nice to meet you, boy.
Always pleasure.